So actually, you mentioned that you come from a Syrian Jewish background. You know, I love learning about all the Passover tradition of different Jewish communities. I learned that Syrian Jews place matzah on the backs, correct? And they walk around the seder table explaining, this is the matzah, the bread of affliction. We are leaving Egypt and we are on our way to Israel. Other Jews take scallions and whip each other doing dayenu, as the Egyptians did to us when we were slaves. Some add real crumbs in the haroset, so it looks more than the mortar. At some seder tables, the leader lifts the seder plate, walks around the table, and taps it 3 times on the heads of all the participants, so it enters in their brains. Hungarian Jews place gold and silver jewelry on the seder table because it says in the Torah, as we left slavery, we were instructed to ask the Egyptian for the silver and their gold. So, and I can go and on and on and on. Shouldn't we have just one Seder with one codified system of observance and rituals? Why are there at least 9 different shmura matzah and 5 different types of regular Seder matzah? Why can't we all just eat one type of matzah? So the Midrash explains at the splitting of the Red Sea, which we celebrate Monday, 7th day of Pesach, the waters actually, listen of this one, this is amazing, diverged into 12 separate pathways, one for each tribe. Should we not have been all unified and showed our solidarity? Why travel separately? This Midrash teaches us a very important lesson. God saw that each tribe had its own melodies and traditions. Rather than force everyone to give up their family tunes and customs, he created a path for each of us to celebrate and yet still be going to the same direction. This is a message of inclusion, tolerance, acceptance. Should learn from God's example and create a path for each of our fellow Jews to express the Judaism how they wish, not how we wish. For true freedom is an attitude that includes loving, respecting, and protecting all the members of our community. Today is Shabbat Chol HaMoed, Pesach, the intermediate Shabbat of the holiday. To refresh your memory, the first 2 days we commemorate that we left Egypt, but Monday is the 7th day. I will say the most important day, the holiday in which we celebrate the courageous crossing of the sea. Do you think that every Jew or Israelite agree on what to do when they were on the shore? Listen to the following midrash, to the following explanation. The Israelites at the Red Sea were divided into 4 groups. They just left Egypt. They just saw the miracles that God performed. They saw the plagues. They are in front of the sea, divided in 4 groups. One group said, let us throw ourselves into the sea. One said, let us return to Egypt. One said, let us fight them. And one said, let's cry out against them. Once you internalize that the division among Jews is in the DNA, from the beginning, in the master story of the Jewish people, the living slavery, we couldn't even agree what to do. And even God, who knows us better than we know ourselves, created 12 different paths. So, to see division among Jews shouldn't surprise us. It doesn't mean that it shouldn't hurt us. And where I'm going, the last couple of days, very, very tough, complicated days for Jews in America, for Jewish kids in universities. I was listening to different students. And what caught my attention is not the Jewish kid who think like I think, but to phrases that I would never expect Jewish kid to say on campus. I will say her name, I will not say her last name, that's not nice. We, she said, as Jews, have this idea of tikkun olam, to repair the world. A student protester with Yale Jews for Ceasefire says. And that's really a guiding principle for me, recognizing where there is injustice and suffering and working to repair this genocide in every way possible. So you understand the image. You are in Columbia University's camp, they encamped, and here you have people who identify as Jews, and they say that they are fighting to stop the genocide. Another one called Elijah. A belief in justice and a belief in doing the right thing, a belief in human equality and dignity has been instilled within me, in keeping with my Judaism. It's a very complicated issue, and I'm very involved in Jewish life on campus, and I have a lot of difficult and nuanced conversation. And the one who really took away my opportunity to sleep at night says the following. I'm very grateful for how much people really accommodate and embrace pluralism and a wide range of perspective, referring to the other protester. MIT Jews for Ceasefire plans to host Shabbat tonight in the encampment, and they say, people have been so excited to have us share our Jewish tradition within this community. They have been constantly checking up on all of us when everyone here has been going through so much. It's just been really incredibly nice and empowers me to be here to fight together for liberation. What happened to us? These Jewish kids are encamping in campuses, saying we are together fighting for liberation. What she doesn't understand is that this Hamas guy who is near her is checking the way she eats matzah. He's so interested in her matzah, like I'm interested now in what's going on in Iberia. They will have to kill her too. But she's not getting it. She's not understanding it. Because all she knows about the conflict was she listens to 2 TikToks per day of 15 seconds. And she gives credibility and empowers those who are in campus, making sure that Jews will never have a day of peace on campus again. So when I understand that we couldn't agree that day in Egypt, but we knew that we were together going to the same land. What's going on now in our campuses, which is very dangerous, it's an eye-opener what happens to us in Jewish education in the last 60, 50, 40, and 30, and 20 years. So, there's still hope. And you know why? According to another midrash, you know which percentage of Jews left Egypt? Only 20% of the Jews left. Another 80% remained because they didn't believe neither in God, neither in Moses' message, neither in the Torah, neither in the Jewish people. So you are a descendant of the 20%. So what we need to do, by the way, I want to make it very clear. When people say in our days, ceasefire, they don't mean that they want the Palestinian people to thrive. Because let me make it very clear. If there is tomorrow a ceasefire in the same situation that we have today, that means that Hamas remains in power. If Hamas remains in power, it means that in 4 months they start shooting again of Israel, which means Israel will shoot back and will destroy the 4 buildings that are still there, which means nobody will ever invest a penny in Gaza, which means Palestinians will be pakakt forever. So if you want a Palestinian to have a future, you need to allow Israel to finish the work, to destroy the leadership of Hamas, and maybe one day they can have a country. But ceasefire today means the disgrace for them. So not only they are being very irresponsible as a Jew, they're just helping anybody. So I will not say we understand better, but we understand that the Israeli people need us more than ever. That the Jewish kids in campus need us more than ever. Let's multiply our effort with our time, with our money, with our strength to make clear that if there will be no place for Jews in the universities, there should be place for anybody there. Shabbat Shalom.